cover the three main areas I had mentioned previously. Remember, your employees, even though you train them, they're not going to sit and read a long document or even refer back to it 9 times out of 10. So you do need to cover the three main areas I mentioned previously, and I'll go over those again. Definition and not to be tolerated. Generally describe the prohibited behaviors and procedures to make a complaint on how it will be handled. There are many items in the current handbook that need to be updated and changed. I highly recommend that we wait until after the 2 pending harassment cases are settled and not draw attention to ourselves at this point. After the cases are settled, let's jump right in and write a thorough policy. I am sure there will be recommendations by the attorney and also Tennessee Risk Management. That is my opinion of what we should do now as a professional. Just remember, this is very important. Everyone has the right to work in a professional atmosphere that promotes equal employment, unlawful discrimination, and harassment. And I'll be glad to answer any questions anybody has.
You're saying when
I am saying wait. Right, definitely.
Why would we wait?
Why would you wait? Because you are going to draw attention. It's like, I hate to put it this simply, the horse is out of the barn. That's what it amounts to. And I think you're going to be far better off to let these get settled. They're not very far away, is my understanding. So let them get settled, and then let's get the feedback from the attorney, Tennessee Risk Management. The policy that is in place right now has 1 or 2 really good statements that if I think they look at, they can use. I won't go into that detail, but, you know, I think there is a couple of statements in there that is something that the attorney could use. I'm not involved in that. I'm sure he will see it if it's brought to his attention. But I do think we need to wait. I do.
does this cover everything you're saying?
No, it does not. And it's too lengthy. It does not. It needs to be. I have samples. I have, I have gathered many over the years, but I have recently, because I want it to be more recent, I have gathered policies from Universal Studios. That's a big organization. Watching their P's and Q's for sure. 2 pages. Also from another foundation. Again, just 2 or 3 pages. You don't want anything too terribly long, but you really want to come on and give what you got. And then the big thing is, let's get that handbook all updated. It won't take that long. It's just a little bit of updating, and then we'll get all that done after this is over. It's not that long. And then go from there. Have a clean slate in the 2019-20 year. I know it's right now starting and you'd like to move on, but it's better to wait till these are over.
Would you help us?
I surely will. I will be glad to help. I want input from people, but I'll be glad to help you.
Yes, ma'am. I know you said we needed to wait, and I understand what you're saying. But during that time period that we're waiting, if something were to come up again, how would you suggest that it be handled?
Well, I think just going to the manager, the person being discreet about it, you might want to go to Brent. You're getting ready to install a central finance manager. Who knows? I don't know what you're planning on doing, but that may be where that falls. But right now, in the interim, be aware. If you're involved with some of these departments or services that you have, make them aware that we don't want this kind of thing. Be hard on it. All of us can do that. I mean, I'm not on the commission, but I sure can talk to a manager that I know and say, hey, if anything comes up, keep your ears and eyes open.
Also, serving in the capacity that we are as commissioners, if an employee were to come and report it to one of us, we are legally bound to go to Brent or someone.
Exactly.
Brent, I'm gonna say
Brent,
Brent,
right.
I'm sorry.
Exactly.
Brent, to let him know. Let's- Everybody understand that our commission, yeah.
That's exactly, that's the point, I mean, that's the way it should be.
Based on the level of restriction and the incident, there's an entire process.
Yeah. We are part of the beginning of that process, but that's just
If somebody doesn't feel comfortable approaching me, or if they won't talk to you, that's exactly how the information comes. But it's how you react upon.
Yeah.
Right, exactly, it is. And I'll be glad to help at any time that I can.
That's what I was going to ask you. If we decide to wait, would this be something maybe you could, have a meeting with the department heads?
We could, that would be probably, because I know each one of these departments are very different from the others. I mean, all of them, you know, they are very, very different. You won't find that any different than any other organization. I mean, you just have different, I mean, I use the thing with the Trinity University, you have the maintenance and the guard people, but then you have the doctorates and so forth. So you've got it in all arenas, and it has to be dealt with.
But this document would cover
Everything,
department,
yes,
no matter from the janitor to the. person.
exactly,
Okay.
exactly, yes, one policy. Now, that one policy should cover everything. Mhm.
Well, and just to caveat, we have kind of a history of centralized the government coming under the 1981 Act, on centralization. What I was talking about. We got centralized, but we have human resource expertise in the county. That's part of that act.
That-
We're doing our first safety day next week.
But, you know, you need to start somewhere with, you know, maybe just a small committee of trying to put a policy together, and then before implementing it, need to meet with each department person or department head, every service area, I don't know what y'all call them, you know, but the different areas, the managers in each different area, and see if it's going to work for them, and it will work for them, but you want them to be a part of buying into it. You want them to buy in. That's the big thing. Then after it's passed, you really want to do some training. The training is really important. And really, I know this sounds a little bit, but once a year, that policy really needs to be gone over. It really does. So, and I don't mean changing it, I just mean going over the policy with your employees.
Let me ask you this too, and this doesn't relate necessarily to the sexual harassment policy. I guess it does, but not the sexual part of the harassment, but a lot of these department heads have one person working with them.
Right.
So I think we somehow need to address, let's say these two, you know, have a disagreement or whatever, and there's a shouting match. It doesn't necessarily mean it's a sexual harassment.
No.
But they need an avenue to be able to go to somebody else, because I mean, it's hard to report to the person you're arguing with.
Right, exactly.
So I would like to see that kind of incorporated too, because like I say, you've got a lot of offices that have one person.
And that, but that should be the way it is. I mean, the policy should cover it to where they can go to somebody
Yeah,
else.
like, you know, me and Brent work together, Brent, you know, he's my boss, and I'm trying to argue with him, and then I don't feel like I'm getting satisfaction out of what I'm saying. I gotta be able to find an avenue to allow myself to go somewhere else.
Well, I mean, I've had a situation before, and I don't like to get into too much detail, where the head of a huge department was the aggressor, was the harasser. That was one of the more complicated cases that I've been involved in. It went on for several years. But, it can be, you know, you can be, if you have, you know, it can be done. It can be done. I'd be glad to. If I can work it in, I sure will. Does anybody have any other questions?
So I still am a little bit concerned about not getting anything incorporated. Just because last year at our CTAS training, they does it look like then, and we know we have a policy that needs to be updated, it's just concerning to me.
So it was said that the policy needed to be updated, is that
Well,
what you
in
understand?
CPAS, it's part of the commissioner's role to be constantly updating policy.
Okay.
And this is one of the main ones that we have responsibility over. And when we know that we have like an issue and are not doing anything, it doesn't it seem like we're promoting like a culture of sexual harassment?
No,
We
I don't
haven't.
think so, because first of all, you requested here today, for one thing, you all have, been thinking about it and talking about it. You've put one together, even though it's a draft, we'll say, and everything. Brent, I'm gonna ask you, how do you feel, or is comfort level knowing when the two cases are gonna be and versus,
Well, I think that's very hard to say.
yeah.
Is when the cases are supposed to come.
So by the time that you get a committee together and do something and update, you'll be through. I mean, almost could do it in,
But we've currently got a policy, correct?
right, we do.
So we are protected in the sense that.
Innocent, yes, yes. And there is one statement in it that no, it's not, but there's one sentence in it that's at least a real positive. So,
I'm no lawyer, but it just seems that we're just being negligent and not being proactive. And so, you would think that it would be wise for us to go ahead and put something in place.
well, I think you can go ahead and start maybe a committee. I think you can go ahead and start looking at the entire process, but not, and you're not gonna have it done. You're not gonna have it done before these cases come up anyway, so
Right.
I really think you could start and you'll be okay.
So the law, it's not a definite. So there's good points in waiting, there's good points in going ahead. You just got to weigh out which one is more likely. I think that what Ms. Williams is correct. I think that you're correct also that you need to go ahead and get started on this. So as soon as they make their ruling to the court, then we can implement.
Once you do training aside, your training, of course, here you have employees, you have to go back, you have to policy, but on policy, it can be paper, but we actually need to go through the policy, which is important, and the policy, procedures, so, kind of give, we have some procedures in place, I'm not sure how well employees are aware of this employee.
Okay, before we just arbitrarily just go and just say, I want this one to be on our committee, I would like to have like other counties do, like, since we don't have a steering committee anymore, that I would like to, have like applications, just like we found, you, how cool is that? I knew you were background, but I had no idea the extensiveness of your background, how deep it ran. But is there any way that instead of just us, like maybe get out the word that we're looking for qualified people for a committee? You think?
Honestly, I think you'd be wiser to pick out people to ask who are knowledgeable about the subject.
Exactly.
How do you find the person? That's what I'm saying. I've known this lady, for how many years have I known you? Forever. I did not know that. I did not know that. What I'm telling you is that when you find something like this, she's a jewel here in our county, as far as her knowledge.
But there's ways of finding people. There are ways of finding people that do and have that kind of background.
Well, can we, like, for instance, maybe look around and not just select a committee arbitrarily today? Would that be?
Oh, yeah, I don't think we should, I think we need to give it
You
some
can go
thought.
to each individual counties and ask for their help with their HR department.
I just wanna make sure we do what's right and good for the people, for everybody.
Well, I I do too. I mean, that's why I'm here. I mean, I want to see, I want to see it go well. And I'm very concerned about, the upcoming cases and how they turn out.
Well, Ms. Williams could probably give some people that she would recommend for us to look at.
I can do that.
That would be good too.
The commission will have the opportunity to say, okay, we want, to say, well, we have 5 people, and we've got 7 people, so it's looking good, best 5. We have,
Smaller might be better.
yeah, I'm just making up that number. I was making
Yeah, I agree that 3 or 4 is probably the volume. And I do agree in the fact, I think you do agree with me as well, is that we need to kind of wait and see.
Well, like I say, it's, anytime you're dealing with the law, you're dealing with federal law, and that's confusing enough.
It is.
This room wouldn't be big enough for all the laws.
No, it's not.
But I do think that we're wise to start looking at this issue, because I don't mean to sound negative, but the present discrimination clause we got isn't working, because if it is, we wouldn't be in federal court.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. That's why I'm very pleased to come today and talk with you, and I will help in any way that I can. If nobody has any other questions, then I will be done. All right.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, I think it's been brought to the commissioners, but it hasn't, I'll just put it on the table. If I remember correctly, when Mr. Tom Montgomery came on the insurance side, we all had discussions on the training programs that they have available to the counties that we've not taken available on in the past. And he gave or referenced a person's name that was going to contact you, or you contact him, one that leads that charge.
Yeah, we're having our safety, I know we're doing safety, and I can build on the back on the rest of the policy.
That's what I was saying, because that is their insurance carrier, and there are certain professionals in the arena who try to mitigate or limit liability to the county, because that directly affects them as well. So I know there would be a major player in that arena too.
I'll contact council. So ready this one Tuesday, I believe I lured everybody to Department District lunch, at 11 o'clock, senior citizen center. No, I'm just thinking off the top of my head, I'm a calendar department with, yes, the Tennessee Risk Management, encouraged, like Ronnie said, for us to do things to reduce liability, and that was the first thing, because we have a lot of accidents on different things that happen on the course of the work again. I got all the department heads coming in, it'll be 11 o'clock, I think, on Tuesday. First year, something internal. I think, I talked to, maybe y'all got another time, maybe the following.
It's this Tuesday, right?
It is this
This is
Tuesday.
Tuesday,
Well,
yes.
it is Tuesday,
Tuesday,
11 o'clock,
11
senior citizen center. Barbecue will be provided, lunch, free lunch, good time. If it pleases you, I'd like to bring the audit committee up.
What we're gonna do on this experimentation?
Yeah, well, I'll bring it back, I will have to bring it back. Go ahead.
Joe, a copy of our report,
Handles that.
if you would please. There's nothing today.
I'm afraid to use that mic because I'd probably blow the room out. I am David Faulkner, the chairman of the audit committee for this current fiscal year. This report that I provided a copy of around the head table is in response to and meets the requirements of Tennessee Code Annotated 93405. The other members of the committee are Jennifer Coppinger and Donna Williams, you just heard from. They've done great work this year. We, in this report, had one, in essence, we had one finding last year for the county. That finding was that expenditures exceeded appropriations in the solid waste and sanitation fund. So in our first meeting back on the 4th of February 2019, first we took care of the business of nominating and electing the chairperson and a secretary, and then we sat down with the county executive and talked to him about his plan for making sure that this audit finding was not going to be repeated in the coming year. You'll need to see at the bottom of page 1 that in essence the controls that have been implemented at the solid waste facility, there were several. We had tighter controls at the Camden County Convenience Center as far as who and what was dumping at our facility. Number 2, actually the current workforce at that point kind of removed itself, and we moved into a position where we had a volunteer set of managers and used a labor force from the jail. That obviously reduced expenditures. At this point, a full-time solid waste manager has been hired, and all of this had the impact of greatly reducing the amount of money that was going out to manage solid waste. So, kind of the proof's in the pudding. So, we asked that the county executive provide us end-of-month reports across each of the major budgets. And in just looking at solid waste in the January and March timeframe, we noticed that the projected end-of-year fund balance was growing exponentially. And in fact, as of the end of March, the projected fund balance at the end of the year was going to be $405,000 and some change. So not only do we believe that resolved the problem in terms of overspending at the solid waste facility, but it's also checked the block for meeting the minimum fund balance requirement that the state of Tennessee has placed on Camden County. And with that, I'll entertain any questions. Thank you very much.
Next item on the agenda is number 11, Commissioner Ken Davenport to discuss the property tax rates.
Commissioner, I know that you have received, or I hope that you have, thank you. Commissioner, I hope that you have received the information in the mail regarding the property tax freeze. I took the liberty of going ahead and putting together a resolution. Basically, it's a cookie cutter resolution from the CTAS side. There are other properties, other counties that have this in place. I think this would be a really good, if we're gonna do something like raise taxes, you can't talk about a tax increase, the one like what we're probably gonna have, without talking about trying to help the people in the county, especially those that are over 65. So I have a little something I was gonna read here. And this is according to an article in the County Cougar on May the 21st, 2019. There are 2,834 citizens in Cannon County over the age of 65. 510 of those people are house poor. That means these people are struggling to meet expenses every month. 251 are so poor they do not even own a vehicle to get to and from the grocery store or the doctor's office. And I feel that it's the responsibility of the legislative body to protect all citizens, especially those who have dedicated their entire lives to the county, from being removed from their homes due to an unprecedented property tax increase. And this would be only for those citizens who are existing below the poverty level. And basically, the 2007 session, the 105th General Assembly enacted a Property Tax Freeze Act, which establishes the tax freeze and authorizes the legislative body of any county to adopt the property tax freeze program. If passed, qualifying homeowners will have the property taxes on their principal residence frozen at a base tax amount. This means the amount of taxes owed in the year they first qualify for the program. As long as the owner continues to qualify, the amount of property taxes owed for that property will not change, even if there is a property tax increase. And note, per TCA 675705, the county legislative body can terminate this by resolution if needed. But in order to qualify, here's some of the state's qualifications, their recommendation. They own their residence in the city or county, and in this case, the freeze is for county taxes only. Of course, we don't have any jurisdiction over the city. Be 65 years of age or older by the end of the year when application is filed. Income from all sources do not exceed $30,240. And that is that's 2019 figure. That's, the comptroller sets those figures. That's not something that we have any control over. An application is made to the trustee, and this is up to 5 acres, and it's for the primary residence only. And the amount will change if improvements are made that increase the property value. Say, for instance, the person adds on to their home or whatever, which increases, so that the amount of the freeze will change then if that happens. And when a homeowner sells their home and purchases another residence, they will need to reapply at that time to see if they still continue to meet the qualifications set out. And this is some of the things, and this is something that the trustee and the property assessor will work together to ensure these are done. But one is like, this is like an example of the required documents in other counties. And this is like, you go up to the trustee's office, basically, and it's a federal tax and income tax return. Of course, you're gonna need that to determine your amount. The W-2s and 1099s from all sources of income. These are the same forms used to prepare your tax return. Pensions, retirement income, veterans benefits, dividends, etc. 2018 Social Security benefit statement, Medicare card or driver's license, voter registration card or current utility bill, copy of a trust if applicable, title and bill of sale for mobile home. Only applies if your primary residence is a mobile home. And then a death certificate for deceased spouse, if that's available, if that applies. Now, something interesting here is that 17% of the population for whom poverty status is determined in Cannon County. There's 2.32 thousand out of 13,000 people that live below poverty here. And that number is higher than the national average of 13.4%. The largest demographic living in poverty are females 35 to 44, followed by females 25 to 34, and then males 6 years old to 11 years old. Now, what that tells me is that you're talking about a very small population here of over 65 that will meet these qualifications. Not that they are not important, they are very important. Because we want to make sure that these people who have been here either all their life or just moved in, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're shipping or if you've been here all your life. We're all from Cannon County, and that's why we should be looking at it. But these people should not be losing their homes. And this is not that the county will be giving away all of the taxes. This just makes it where that it will be frozen at a certain amount. Unfortunately, if we were to pass a tax increase right now, it will not take effect until next year, unfortunately. So the tax increase will already be passed, but it protects those